Hey, what's up guys, it's still for Philo Concept. So today we are going to create a YouTube channel art just like Hayden's own in Adobe Photoshop. So let's just get started.
Welcome to Philo Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos.
Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our application. For this tutorial, I'm using Photoshop CC 2019 and I'll go ahead and create a new document. Now I'm going to leave the width to 2560 and the height to 1440. The resolution, I'll leave mine at 300 and I'll just click on create. Now we are going to create another thing that is going to be a rectangle, so go to the shapes tool and grab the rectangle tool, click on it, don't click and drag, we don't want to be doing that. Just click on it one time, set the width to 2560 and the height to 423 and just click on OK. Alright, so once we've done that, we want to place it at the center, so you can use Ctrl R to bring up your rulers, click and drag this to the center like so, then click from the top and place it at the center like so. So if I go ahead and grab my shape, let me just double click and change the color so that you can see what I'm doing. I can just pretty much place it at the center like this. Now what I'm going to do is actually make this a smart object so that at any point in time when we make changes to it, it will just affect the real image right here. So right click and go to convert to smart object. Now once you've done that, the icon is going to change to this icon right here. Then I'll just double click on it to open up that particular image. So let's go ahead and hide the rulers, we don't actually need it here. So for this channel art, we are going to be using the pen tool a lot. So click on the pen tool, make sure that the top part is set to shapes, select a specific shape color you want to use. In my case, I'm just using a fill of white and a stroke of none. So I already have my images in here which I'm going to be using, and these two images are going to be the last images I'm going to be placing at the extreme edges. So let's just go ahead and create the first shape. So for that, I'll just be somewhere around here. Just click several times like so. They are actually random shapes, they don't have any specific order, so anything like this should be just fine. Once I'm done, I'll just hit enter on my keyboard and I'll make sure I select the rectangle or my background in this case, and I'll create the new shape on top of this rectangle. Now I'll go ahead and delete this rectangle right here and I'll actually create a new solid color. So go to the adjustment panel and click on solid color and probably set it to about the same red color. This allows me to click on this without having to change the fill color because it is not a shape. Now always make sure that once you create the first shape, go back to the background and create the next shape so that the next shape is going to be beneath the first shape. Always try to do that. So the next shape is going to be something like this. Also, once I have it like so, I'll just hit enter and again I'll go back to the background. Let me just call it background for now, and I'll be creating the other shapes like so. So this is basically what I'll be doing throughout the next couple of minutes, so I'll probably be fast forwarding from here. Now always try to draw your shape at the corner of one other shape so that it actually looks like it is flowing through. So like I have created the shape 11, I'm going to be starting somewhere around here instead of just clicking over here so that it doesn't look weird. I'll just be clicking somewhere around here so that they look like they are all flowing together, and I'll make sure that I am able to cover up the red background, which I'll be explaining why in just a couple of seconds. Alright, so I have about 14 shapes, so I'll go ahead and create the last one, which is going to be somewhere here. So 15 shapes, that means I'll be using 15 images for this. So let's just go ahead and select our first image. So the first one is going to be this image I have here, and I'll be placing that on top like so. Now just click and drag and place this here. Now I can pretty much just hold down the Alt key and hover between the shape and the image, and I get this icon. This allows me to create a clipping mask. If you don't want to be doing that, you can just right click and go to create clipping mask, and it's just going to merge it on top of this image. So I'll select shape 4 and I'll do the exact same thing. I'll just grab an image I think that looks pretty awesome, so I'll just click and drag this and place this also here like so. Now this is showing this way because I haven't created a clipping mask, so I'll just go ahead and create a clipping mask like this, and I'll place it the way I want it. So I want it to be somewhere around here, and surprisingly this image is not working out because it is so damn huge if I want to place it this way. So I'll go ahead and delete it. Yeah, that's the fun part. You just have to be going back and forth selecting different images until you get one that makes you feel comfortable. So I think this is okay, and I'll be placing this somewhere around here like so. So I'll go to shape 13 and I'll do the exact same thing until I have exhausted all the images.
Different place, float on air, and we'll hide away. I'll be your escape. Look up and feel the shifting winds tossing us around again. Hold tight, get ready to begin, and just levitate.
Alright, so I'm on the last image, and that is going to be this image I have of myself, and I'm just going to be placing that also here like so, and I'll just clip it to this shape I have here. So yeah, it's looking pretty okay, but let me just stretch it out just by a little bit. I really hope that the object will be showing, so let me just flip this horizontally and have it looking like so. Okay, now the fun part about this is at any point in time, if I don't feel comfortable about an image, I can just go ahead and change it up. Like this image I have right here, I can just, it looks so huge for the other images, so I just go ahead and delete it right away, and I'll just replace it with this image I have. So also I have to just clip it to that particular shape so that it only shows at that area, and I think this is looking pretty okay. Now once I go ahead and save this up, if I go back to my rectangle, you can see that it is showing right here like so. So that's the best thing about smart objects. You can just do all the back end editing here, and it's just going to be showing on the main image right here. So there's another thing I want to point out, that is for the shapes, they actually have to have an outline, or else they are not going to be looking that good. So what I'll do is, with the shape selected, shape 15 or any of the shape, go to the FX, click on FX and go to stroke, and I'm going to set my stroke to inside like so, and I'll give it some form of width. So let's say a width of about 15 should be okay. Make sure that the fill type is set to color and not any other thing. The opacity 100%, and what I'll do is I'll just right click on that, go to copy layer style, select all the shapes, right click and go to paste layer style. So this is going to apply to everything. Wow, unfortunately it seems 15 is a little bit too much, so I'll just select one of the layers and just double click on the FX, and let's just go ahead and change the stroke. It looks too huge. I think 5 should be okay. So right click one more time like previously, copy layer style, select all the shapes, right click and go to paste layer style. Now I think this is looking much better. I could have also corrected this by using the pen tool. Once I was creating the fill, I could have just added a 5 pixel stroke to all of it, but I wasn't so sure, so I just used this other trick to get the same effect. So let's just go ahead and select everything, Ctrl G to group them up, and let's call these images, and I'll go ahead and create another group, and I'll call this main text. Now for the main text, I'll be using 3 shapes. three rectangles. So I'll grab the rectangle tool. I'll draw a huge rectangle like so. Now I'll try to place this at the center. Now I'm really wishing I didn't take away the rulers, so you know what, let's just bring them back. In case you forgot, the short key is Ctrl R, by the way. So I'll place it somewhere around here like so. Now I'll double click since it's a shape and make it solid black color, and I'll reduce the opacity to about 80, which is right here. Now I'll grab the type tool and I'll start typing in the name. So this is going to be Yolabi, and the font I'm using is Gotham Black, and I'll highlight it and increase the size by a lot. So probably let's try 24. Go to window, go to character, and make sure that I have everything the way I want it. So I think, yeah, something like this is okay. Now it appears that the rectangle is too much, so I'll just reduce the size like this. Again, create a duplicate of the rectangle, but before that, let's apply a stroke to it. A stroke of about 5 pixels is okay. Ctrl J to create a duplicate, and I'll place the duplicate somewhere around here, and I'll do the exact same thing for the bottom. So I can just also hold down the Alt key and just click and drag, making sure that the move tool is selected, else this way of duplicating is not going to work. So I'll place this somewhere around here. Now for the mini ones, I probably should change the size to about 2 or 3. I'll just be using 2. So copy layer style, right click, go to paste layer style. Now you can also just copy and paste by just holding down the Alt key and clicking and dragging the effect onto it like that. Right, so in case you have any text, you can also put them here. In his case, he used everyday is a new story. So in case you are also interested in that, you can just use something quite similar and probably change the font to a much more catchy font. So I'll probably be using Bunch Blossom, and also make sure that they are not all caps. I should probably retype it. Well, I think it looks cool like this already. So a font size of about 8, still too huge. Let's try 6. Okay, I think 6 is okay. I might still reduce the size, so let's try 5. Yeah, I think 5 is okay, or 5.5. Alright, so 5.5. I'll create a duplicate of the text. So if you have a slogan, you can also add it in here like so. So photographer, filmmaker. Alright, so this is happening because the font I'm using doesn't have the hyphen font for some reason, so it changed the font entirely. So again, I'll highlight and make sure that they are all caps. So let's make this font size of about 5.2, and yeah, basically that is looking pretty nice. But there's another thing I want to do. So for the main name, Ctrl G to group, and let's just call this name or channel name. We are going to be adding some form of effect to this, so I'll create a duplicate of this. Ctrl J again. For the one at the bottom, I'm going to set the fill to 0, and I'll go to FX, create a stroke, and a stroke of about 3 should be just fine. Now this is what I'm getting, so let's make it 2 actually. So if I have the fill, you have the white filling in, I'll just set it to 0, and we have the main image on top like this. So I'll just select both of them, right click and go to rasterize layer style. Now this is going to make them raster images, and I'll just grab the polygonal lasso tool, which is right here, L on your keyboard, and you can create something like this. Once you do that, select the top layer, or probably you can just select both layers, right click and go to layer via cut, hold down Ctrl to create that same selection, go to the bottom text, do the exact same thing, right click, go to layer via cut. Now if I go ahead and move these two images I just created using the short key layer via cut, I can just move them about like so. So if I go ahead and turn this off, you can see the difference in there. So again, I'll merge them up. The short key is Ctrl E to merge down, and I'll do the exact same thing for the rest. So probably I don't know, somewhere around here I'll create a similar thing. Right click, Control, layer via cut, hold down the Control key, create that selection one more time, select the bottom layer, right click, go to layer via cut, and I'll just move these two layers like so. So I can just place them at the bottom like this, and again I'll merge this to the bottom one. So Ctrl E, select this, or right click and go to merge down. So I'll just be doing that for the rest. Alright, so once I'm done, I'll just select the bottom one, the one without the fill color, and I'll just move that slightly to the right and probably at the bottom too, like so. And I'll reduce the opacity, of course, to about 50 or 20%. It's there, but you don't actually see. I think I'll just go with 30, and again it should be somewhere almost close to the main text. So basically that is it. You can just use that and save this image up and use this as your new thumbnail.
As always, the PSD template is going to be linked below, so in case you are interested in customizing it for your own work, then be sure to check the links in the description. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Fino Concept, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.